Here we have the Northwest 25D Dragline, Northwest Engineering Company, Chicago, Illinois, manufactured at Green Bay, Wisconsin. It was the original machine. This was a 2009 National Toy Truck and Construction Show Vintage Construction 3 1/50th scale piece, made by SpecCast, again in 1/50th scale. It's a toy trucker and contractor exclusive model. Very, very cool piece. Very glad to have one. This review is dedicated to cue ball. And a little side note, every single Northwest machine that was ever made is very, very much afraid of the cue ball for reasons that will be left unmentioned. So with that little bit of inside humor out of the way, this model's got a lot of cool features. It's a small model, but it would be really cool if I can get my hands on another one. I want to make an extension boom and put a wrecking ball on it, because this would be a really cool machine for a wrecking ball. But this is an awesome little piece. Before I even get started with the review, I'm going to say I highly recommend this piece to anybody. This thing's awesome. So to start, it's if you have one of these, I suggest using one of these TWH sword pointers to kind of show things and open doors and stuff like that. But to start, we'll go up here to the main body of the crane. The door opens, and you can see the controls in there. Pretty cool. And it's pretty hard to see, but there is also a seat back there. Right in the center of the frame there is the seat. You can see all the mechanicals that they modeled into the inside panel of the crane. They did some cool etching here. It'd be nice if it was all the way through, but that's a very expensive process and very hard to cast. The graphics and the paint on this model are almost second to none. They're really, really nice. The tracks, again, old style tracks. I'm not sure off the top of my head. Cue Ball would know. He might chime in. And I can add it to the description. But I don't know exactly what year this crane would have been, or what the years they were manufactured. I think they left that off of the box. And I'm not quite old enough to know exactly all about these pieces. But the tracks, I'll show you from the top, are unusual because the pads are actually have indentations in them rather than grousers, or bars that stick up off the tracks. You can see the sprockets back here, idler up front. Pretty cool, manufactured the way, I mean, they modeled it the way it was manufactured, which is always nice. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom out here and pull back and swing the model around and try to show you the cab from a little different angle. The cab here, you can see a little better. You can see the seat a little bit better. And you can see the controls there through the windshield. See if I can turn it around even a little bit more. Maybe it'll be even easier to see. There you go, you can kind of see it. Here's all the lines coming up the boom. Of course, this is a dragline bucket, obviously. I'm not exactly sure because I'm not good with cranes, hence why you have not seen any other crane reviews on my channel. I'm not exactly sure what size cubic yard bucket this was, or if it was even a full cubic yard. I'm not sure. Again, if I'd have done my homework, I guarantee the one and only cue ball could have told me anything and everything I needed to know. But, oh well. So, it's, the mechanism here that the dragline bucket hangs off of is pretty cool. They authenticated the chains pretty well. They look pretty realistic. Nice pulleys Nice, accurate design. Again, the undercarriage from this side. Now there's a door on this side that opens. That is probably going to take a little bit of work to open. I almost guarantee it. A little tip trick, in case you guys couldn't see that. If you have one of these and you're trying to open the door and you have one of these sword TWH pointers, you can take, over here by the hinge, you can take the thin part of this, kind of like this, and stick it in the hinge and pop the door open that way. That way you don't mess anything up. They did an excellent job on the hinges. They're very, very hard to see. You can see there are the two winch drums. And it comes with this orange key that controls them. So I'm going to go ahead and back out all the way again. And hopefully you guys will be able to see okay, right now I'm booming it up. I'm going to try to stay out of the camera as much as possible. Right now, booming up, and then I'll release, I will release the dragline bucket down, which is the farther forward winch. So we will see just how far down we can make this go. You can see the bucket starts to tilt a little bit. So there it is on the ground. I'm going to go ahead and winch that back up. The winches work great and they hold great. Everything about this model is fantastic. And since I love the matte granite so much, before I'm done, to give you guys a size reference, since I use the matte granite to size reference everything else, I will do that as well to give you guys kind of an idea as to the size of it. So right now I'm back to the second drum that's more towards the rear of the machine, that's behind the closed door, to boom the crane down. Again, this would be a really cool piece to be able to modify and put a wrecking ball on. Close that door up. Give you guys a look at the boom. Lattice work is nice. It's nice and small. That was done very nicely. The cables, again, the bucket. Not a whole lot to see with the bucket. Tilt it up sideways here so you can see the bottom. It's got 4 teeth on it. You can see kind of there. The pulley sheaves are definitely not brass, which a lot of people like. Again, it's a small model, so it's not a surprise. I'm going to try to see if I can zoom in here, and I can. And what that says, oops, a little too far. That says Northwest Engineering Company, Chicago, Illinois, manufactured MFD at Green Bay, Wisconsin. You can see the kind of like the chevron pattern on the back here. There is no opening doors or anything on the back. You can see the undercarriage again. Tracks. They roll very freely, and they are very, very nice. Again, this model also, just like any other model, it does rotate 360 degrees. Tracks go 360 degrees. They roll very nicely and smoothly. Not a whole lot of friction on the surface that I'm pushing against. If the paper wasn't there, they would roll very smoothly. But it's a great piece. I highly recommend it. They're starting to get kind of hard to come by now. Sorry for the shadow. I just want to try to get one more look in there. I'm going to close up the door, and I'm not going to set this piece on its side because I don't want anything to happen to it, but I'm going to pick it up and show you guys the underside of the undercarriage, which is actually very important. I am going to be real careful and set this down. Now, it is not functional, it's static, and I'm going to do my best to zoom in, but you can see the old chain drive there on the inside of the track frame. Of course, that's how all the old machines used to work. They were chain driven machines. So there's the undercarriage, the tracks again. Spectacular little model. I think they run somewhere in the $100+ range, probably even more now that they're getting hard to come by. They did I believe they did a pull shovel in this, and they may have done one other model. I'm not totally positive off the top of my head. But if you can get your hands on this one, on the Dragline, I highly suggest it. Great piece. I'm going to just, in case I didn't, cover the top. Just a flat black paint on the top. Not many features, but some casting indentation, stuff like that. So very nice. And I don't know if I got the top of the body on this side. There isn't a whole lot, again, not a whole lot of detail, but some. I don't want to miss anything. There again, you can see the drums. Nicely produced piece by SpecCast. SpecCast pieces are usually pretty high quality, nice stuff, especially for the price. That concludes this review. Please like the Mike's Models 2011 Facebook page. Subscribe to the Mike's Model Reviews YouTube page if you haven't done either yet. You can find all sorts of pictures and information on all the different models that I have reviewed. And we also do all sorts of projects like the matte granite project. If any of you are not familiar with it, go check it out. It's pretty cool. Long. I talked to the caster this morning. I should be getting some pieces before too long, another week or two maybe. And as soon as I start getting those pieces in, I'll be making more videos about that. And of course, there'll be other projects coming up in the future. So check out the channel for the rest of that stuff. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.